And welcome back. We're picking up vaguely where we left off last time in Factorio Space Age. Did let the game play a little bit to build out the ship while I was making a cup of tea. But what we're going to do while we're waiting for this to finish building is we're going to redesign this one. We have turned this one off as far as requesting construction materials, so it won't actually start really building anything right away. But that shouldn't be a problem. At least I don't think it'll be a problem. There we go. Oops. Okay. So I think the new setup, I think we'll actually run 2 engines instead of 1 engine. They're roughly centered. How do I want to make the plumbing on this work? Trying to decide if I want to feed through. That's basically what's going on here. Okay, so that'll work. Not particularly subtle, but it'll work. Yeah, not particularly subtle, but it'll work. That orientation. Then for the lab, or the chemical plants, we need fewer chemical plants, is maybe a good way to think about it. Because we're going to use the newer recipe on them. So each one of these will be able to run one of those engines. Okay. Then water balance wise, this consumes each 10 water per second. Science-wise, what do I want to do science-wise? Let's let the utility pile up a little bit. Yeah, let's let the utility pile up a little bit. And I'll do non-asteroid productivity. Where's the mining productivity? There's mining productivity. The next mining productivity while we're waiting. This is estimating like 5, 4. We're gonna probably get to the next, or swap over the next tech before we do that, but we'll do that around. Okay. So, plant-wise, each of these is going to take 10 water a second, so we actually need about 40 water a second production. I was about to say is a lot of water, but apparently it isn't actually. Oops. Because it's apparently just that amount of water. Yeah, not all that much water actually. And this... that'll work. Rattled the water. Then obviously this needs to just shift down. Then I need to do the calcite balancing. So yeah, we'll just leave all this for the moment. So we're probably going to want to sushi belt the ice consumption. So the ice doesn't back up. Up a priority left, so it cycles around like that. Anything else goes over that side. Okay. Actually, I suppose we just need the normal ones here. And then right now, it's just carbon and iron ore, so the necessary fuel doesn't need to go around. There might be some argument for sushi belting the calcite. It's not going to be able to go under that bit. Okay, so it needs to go this straight. Okay, so that's a loop. Something like that. Actually, no, we'll just run the straight down the thing. That'll work fine. Alright, so we got a sushi belt for calcite. That'll be carbon. That'll be metal. Wait, these are 3 wide. 2 by 3s, okay. Okay, and then these. This needs to be that one. So in one direction, the ice. So stay on the sushi belt unless the sushi belt is full, and then everything gets all the spare gets kicked off. Okay. So that'll be ice. So we'll whitelist you as ice. And then running the other way, we can run what will be calcite. Calcite is where it's menu. There's the calcite. So it's 5 units of water to 1 unit of calcite. Are we making enough? That's maybe the next question, right? So we've got 4 of those running. So it's basically the recipe divided by 1.25. Well, output's divided by 1.25. Yeah, because it's not quite 1 recipe per second. Well, yeah, not quite 1 recipe per second because it's only got 4 of these going. So not quite 2 calcite per second. Which is fine because we don't need that. And then it's going to be the same with the water. Not quite 3 water per second. But that's fine because we only need 2 per second. And it should produce that. Okay. Okay, and then running around here, we're going to have the sushi belt, the appropriate type of asteroid. Well, I don't need to filter that. It just needs to be prioritized. Okay, and then that needs to be the metal output. Needs to find its way there. So right now I think our metal one only needs to be metal. So we could probably just do a copy-paste summarily, like so. Horizontal. And then this would be the metallic, because we only need the metallic here. Oops, I need one of you to be there to make it work right, because it's going to go around in a loop. And then you don't want to be that, you want to be iron ore. Okay. Yeah, and then we basically duplicate summarily over here. So now this is carbon. Let's move it up by 1. Okay. And then this needs to be swapped over to carbon. Okay. Then at this point we can do splitter. So we merge those two lines and split. Then we're gonna filter split, filter split, filter split. Okay. So then you come down. So, and then you can go over there. Right, and then anything that went through all the filter inserters, or filter splitters, and didn't get filtered to go into one of those lanes was not supposed to be on the belt in the first place, so, back it up. And here, we're going to have an priority left, so you're going to prioritize going through the filters. If it backs up, so it's not going through the filters, which it shouldn't do because of the sushi belt aesthetic going on here. And if that somehow happens, this will serve as the bypass. Keep everything roughly working and not backed up. Like so. Okay, so that, in theory, is enough to run the bigger, improved thruster combo. Lots of sushi belting to make sure nothing backs up, but when we get around to actually shipping stuff up here, that should work. Now over to the ball vessel. Is the ball vessel functional? Yes. It's functional. We got a little bit of circling issues with the ammunition, but I think it is ready to fly. Yeah, I think it's ready to fly. So if that's the case, let's test it by... Oh, before it comes, to get off of Gleba, we need some processing units. 100 processing units might actually be enough, so please get us 100 processing units. And go back to building this one as well. Because yeah, processing, or launch capacity-wise, we need enough low density. We might be a little short on rocket fuel, but I think we're making rocket fuel locally. Oh yeah, we're definitely making rocket fuel. Yeah, so we don't need rocket fuel. Got enough low density structures. We just need the processing units for basically the launch controls. Yeah, so bomb fizzle, how comes the launch? The launch is complete. Okay. Come to Gleba to pick us up. It is with the new, improved engine setup running at full speed. And we'll run full speed the whole way here. Not necessarily making it that much faster. running at something like, what, produce 75? I'm now running at 120. 60% speed, and now we're running 100% speed off of that one thruster. We had to add a little bit more mass to the ship, so a bit faster but slower. Ship is flying. Already about a third of the way there. And this thing is presumably building as fast as Novice is launching things up to it. We've got a lot of empty space up here, which does mean we should be able to improve upon it quite a bit. So even before we get this improved, I suppose we probably do... Well, after we get that improved, because we'll expand the spacewalk from up here. In addition to space science, we'll start producing calcite in orbit over Novice, which we'll probably drop via this one. Ship is flying. 2/3 of the way there. How comes the Vulcanist science? Did we actually get that fixed? I think we did. So it's churning. We've almost got a full chest of it. Meaning at some point we'll have to send the ship around to pick some up. And probably curse our limited bot capacity here on Vulcanus, but send it around to pick some up. Almost here. 14,000 kilometers, just 1,000 left to go. And to be fair, the ship's pulling about 60 kilometers a second, so about an hour's faster per speed than what you probably pull on the highway. So yeah, we got here. Let's drop the processing units because we need it to develop our launch capacity. There comes our delivery. Oh, do I have any productivity modules left? Yes. This is a good target for productivity modules. $94, $96, Looks like the next cycle will give us both. There we go. And then we'll ride up on the next one after everything's up. Apparently the silo running consumes a little bit too much power. Oh yeah, silo running needs a little too much power. No, one of the carbon, I want to drop the power pulse there. Something... that's a problem with the current setup that I had not accounted for. Well, kind of maybe had accounted for, but apparently didn't account enough for. With the inserters pulled up, probably previously, made some of our nutrients, emergency situations, pulled up. We don't have a jumpstart nutrient source. Okay, so we're gonna need one off of you. Actually, no, this wants to be an assembling machine, not a bio lab. What we want, otherwise it might break things. Well, otherwise it would be broken. It's maybe a different way to think about it. Your job. Make nutrients from spoilage. Serve as a jump start for the system. That one going. Okay, that's making lots of nutrients that are basically spoiling as being them unloaded. Okay. Okay, I tried. It didn't quite work. Into that one. So you can make some bioflux to get into this machine. There we go. That might be enough to jumpstart the problem. Solution thing. Might be enough to get it working. Okay, there's a better way to do that. Okay, that's working through the spoilage backlog. What are you waiting on? You're waiting on more of that, which is waiting on that, which is waiting on that. Work through that. Okay. Okay, so that's now running. Don't know why I'm really trying to get this to work, because it doesn't really need to. Because we're about to leave, and it'll probably stall sometime when I'm gone. But we're getting it working. Okay, let's launch. As soon as I empty the inventory, should be good for us. Leave. Travel the space platform, please. Take me to the Bob Fizzle. Seeing the magic of our proof science. Okay, we're on the ship. Got plenty of bullets, so we're not really stuck here. Time to go back to Novice. Yeah, it's working. Might have balance issues, but it's working. You know, there's a critical component missing. That the more observant of the YouTube viewers and, well, Twitch viewers, if the Twitch viewers were commenting in the moment, probably would have caught earlier, which is without inserters. Doesn't work. There we go. Iron out the wazoo, carbon out the wazoo, and we got calcite coming in, and we got ice coming in. And there we go. So in theory, it's ready to fly. Not sure if it's got enough power to protect itself while flying, because it's going to fly faster. A whole twice as fast as it did before, which means it's going to run into those asteroids twice as fast. Not sure if we actually have enough laser firepower to safely move the thing with no damage, but it's ready to move again. And what? Yeah, and that engine could probably... Well, it'd be a little bit of a mess to set up, but it could probably be expanded a couple times. We wanted a faster throughput ship. Yeah, definitely run more vertically, and then we can run more thrusters off of the same sort of design. And I suppose we got everything up for this one. So we should start expanding this platform, the first platform. The old first platform's gonna get an upgrade. Because I need calcite. Where's the solar panels? The regular solar panels. There's the regular solar panels. Start with a fairly small expansion. In theory, all this is going to be dropping, in addition to the existing space science, is some calcite. So this is probably an overkill, because it's just going to be making calcite and water, or calcite and ice, chucking the ice, throwing the calcite in the space platform for it to drop. Oh, and we've arrived at the planet, so we should drop down to Novice. And looking at the time, this is probably where I should go ahead and put the part break. We've gone back to Novice, so we're prepared for pretty heavy base design now that we have the tech we need to do the calcite. It now basically means I can swap over to foundries. We've got 100 foundries here already. The ball vessel can also go ahead and drop the electromagnetic stuff. And it's not going to take too long before we're probably happy with this being able to go out to Vulcanus to do more pickup. More foundries. So yeah, we're just going to have to size up our landing capacity so that we can make enough... Well, drop enough calcite that we can run all the foundries we want to run. And we'll probably do the math... Well, go over the math again in the next one. Because yeah, we're going to want 1 calcite per foundry every 32 seconds. And we're going to want a lot of foundries. I have to do the math on how much ore we're bringing in. But basically, we're going to push all this ore into foundries and then push the output of the foundries into other foundries to make all the stuff, instead of using these furnaces. But that will be for next time. If you're watching on YouTube, if everything is continuing to go according to plan, then we'll be put up tomorrow. I cannot at this time guarantee that there will be, because I haven't recorded it yet. And I'm not planning on recording it tonight. We'll be recording 5 days from now. Stuff can happen in 5 days. So, if you're enjoying it, check back in tomorrow. It'll probably be up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, the next stream of Factorio is planned in 5 days. So, assuming nothing comes up, just as I said for YouTube, it'll probably be up in 5 days. And obviously, because we just recorded 5 parts for YouTube, I will get around, in theory, hopefully, to recording in 5 days, so you shouldn't see any games. As a general, or as a thing to bring up at the end of the stream, this is obviously an end of a stream. I stream these live to a, well, I'd say to a Twitch audience, but I stream these live to whoever shows up on Twitch. So if you want to come see it live, pop over to Twitch. The username on Twitch that I'm streaming under is willcole. For those of you watching on Twitch, my YouTube username is willcole100. Wasn't able to make both of them the same. Not going to go change either of them at this point. If you're watching on Twitch, old VODs get uploaded to YouTube. I try to get them uploaded such that they are uploaded and visible on YouTube before they come down off of Twitch. Twitch lets the stream VODs only stay up for 7 days at the moment for my streaming level. So if you want to see any early parts in the series, you can always go back to YouTube. If you're on YouTube and you can't wait for the next stream, or for the next part up tomorrow, you may be able to sneak over to Twitch and see the next part. And or you'll be able to catch it. The Twitch schedule is usually posted on Twitch. I believe there's a way to see the schedule. I know I've been updating the schedule. It's usually up to date for about 5 days ahead of time. 5 nights. And I try to record at least once a night. Running on a different game every night on a 5-day cycle. So tonight was Factorio. If you have any suggestions for games you'd like to see or games you'd like to see again, feel free to leave it in the YouTube comments. Or if you're watching Twitch right now and want to actually make a comment, feel free to leave it in the Twitch comment. With that, I think that's basically the stream. I've been streaming for 4.5, coming up in 5 hours, so I hope everyone who's been watching in the stream has been enjoying it. And if you're watching on YouTube, I hope you've been enjoying the 5 parts we recorded tonight. My attempts to keep them 30-40 minutes has apparently been failing because 40 times 5 does not equal 5 hours. Yeah. So with that, I'm not seeing any comments in the Twitch chat. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave comments. Wish you all the best of luck and a good time until the next part, and bye for now.